Hello, folks, and welcome to what's going to be a short session, but at the start of the Dwarves. Can't record for too long today. It's 4:30, gone 4:30 in the morning. I am tired, but I want to I want to end tonight on a good note. So, let me just lower the game down slightly. Yeah, that seems grand. I fly by the seat of my pants. Difficulty medium's fine. I'm not sure. Is better left to custom there, or should I? There's no actual difference. Put VSync on. Challenge. Oh, Dwarves RPG. It's based off a series of books, I believe, from Germany.
Fracas made us from stone to protect Girdlegard. Against orcs, ogres, and all the other beasts of Tion. We are the guardians of Girdlegard. We are the children of the divine smith. We are the Dwarves.
Yeah, it's as far as I know next to nothing about it. It's from a novel series from Germany. I remember looking it up years back. Pause the game anytime by pressing space, move the camera by middle mouse wheel, and that. Ooh. Yeah, come on, lore. Yeah, it's based on a novel series from Germany, I believe. I'll look up its name and whatnot. The DWAR. It could be just the Dwarves as well. Yeah, it is just called the Dwarves. Yeah, and it's from a German fantasy author. Well, the original book is called The Dwarves. I don't know what the series is called, though. It could have a different name as an overall series. No. Seems like that's novel. Yeah, no, but first name same as second. The first book's name is the name of the series as a whole. So, but yeah, this is a game based off of the first novel. I don't think it did too well, so I'm doubting we're gonna ever get a game based off book 2. But anyway, I remember seeing this before, and I was interested in it. And it was I either found out about it due to the Blind Guardian song, the Children of the Smith, or I was made more interested in it because of it. I started recently listening to Blind Guardian again. I'd lost interest, started listening to other things, forgot about them, started listening to that again, and woof, I want to be in here. So I haven't really heard good things about it, but well, people aren't really great at judging things, I find. They'll say one thing, and I look at it myself, and it's completely different. I don't see how they got to that point. On occasion. Not always. But, yeah. I'm not sure I really dig this control scheme of having to use the mouse wheel. I'd like to use WASD or even the arrow keys.
All right. On the way.
So, am I going to get any other tutorial? Oop, apologies. No, it seems the auto attacks. Seems like there's... Seems there's benefits in doing it yourself, though. Whoops. I'm kind...
Understood. Just a moment.
Earn them over time and they're for kills. Could it... You really do get bogged down in a fight. Oh. Apologies. Didn't get to read that. Okay, it's right click to move. I keep forgetting that. Maybe that's why I was getting bogged down. Oops. You do regen.
All right. Understood. On the way. Charge. That's that. All right. All right. Come here, you. On the way. And stay there. Come here, you. Charge.
Oh, apologies.
All right.
Drew that one a little close.
On the way. My king, what are you doing here?
Giselbert I, the father of the Fifthling clan, has not been on the front line of battle against the creatures of Tion for many cycles. The king surveys the battlefield and the defenders with a grave expression.
We are too few.
This you know as well as he does. But there will be no reinforcements arriving. Hundreds of brave warriors lie inside the fortress dying. The illness is running rampant. It brings weakness and death.
Stay at your posts. Be as steadfast as the granite of which we are made. Nothing can break us. Vrakas is with us.
Again, apologies for accidentally skipping that one line earlier. And I wasn't expecting this all to be voiced. I was about to start reading it, but you know, I'm starting to get why I've been reading some of the Gotrek and Felix novels in the car and out loud, so me and mom can, mom can, you know, get the stories alongside myself. I'm starting to get why she enjoys, you know, having someone else read to her. It's actually kind of nice. Like, not having to read all the dialogue myself. It's just like, finally someone to pull the weight. Change between characters down there, pressing tab, select more once at a time by left. Yeah.
What?
Okay. Cleave, a lateral blow, dealing damage to several enemies and knocking them sideways. King's Hammer, hits the ground with his hammer and stuns nearby enemies. Vracus motivates himself and nearby heroes to fight quicker for a short time.
What is it?
Yes? It will be so. Over there. Come here and die.
I was gonna grenade, but oh, so I selected the wrong one. No. Over there's only enemies. So left click to confirm an attack. I do appreciate that.
What?
Yeah, it's right click to move or to attack someone. It's left click to confirm an ability. Oh, when it says motivates.
Another one gone. What is it? Understood. Be off with you.
Come on.
Understood.
You get bogged down on each other too.
Come here and die.
Just need to get used to the controls of it, I guess. God, you look mindless. Put your back into the attack, damn it.
Over there.
Do it. Do it.
Yes?
Do it.
What is it?
I am getting the criticisms of this now. But I'm hoping that as the game goes on, they kind of work themselves out. Because Children of Smith was a great song.
Who attacked us in the tunnels? We suffered great losses beating them back.
Come here and I'll split you like a straw, you treacherous elf.
In his fury, the old king radiates a ferocious power that none of Citalia's children could withstand. But the slight, willowy being sitting astride the shadow mare just grins down, mockingly.
You are mistaken. We are Alpha. We are here to destroy the elves.
All peace-loving beings here in Girdlegard are under our protection, and you cannot open the gate that has barred your path into Girdlegard since the creation of the world.
Not us, but perhaps one of your kind.
This cannot be. Silence, you fool! Vracus, forgive me for what I am about to do.
Quickly! In formation! You must hold them back until I close the gate! What is it?
Worst thing, telepathic tittering. Shocking. Okay. No. Yes.
Huh?
So it seems the guy has a degree of mind control abilities. To mention the disease spreading, maybe it's coupled with that. I think I've remember seeing that in fiction before.
That's that. Come here, you! I stay dead! Understood! Come here, you!
Yeah, combat's starting to feel a little bit better.
Right. On the way!
Hey, get back here.
All right!
I can't control these in the slightest. I can only control the heroes. So if they decide to suicide, there's nothing I can do. Which I am not a fan of.
Look at me. I am Syntheras, the Reaper of your death. I will take your life, and the land will take your soul.
Get out of my sight, pointy ears, and let me delight at the closed gate a little longer.
The gate may have closed, but when you rise again from the dead by the power of the land, you will be one of us, and you will open it.
Never! My soul belongs to Brakas.
No, your soul now belongs to the land, and henceforth you will belong to it forever. Now die, and return. Then hand us Girdlegard.
I know the animations there felt a little lacking. 1,035 cycles later, just the
You're
final.
a perfectionist, Tungdil Bolafar.
I've got a reputation to uphold. If you can't rely on the metalwork of a dwarf, what can you rely on?
Yeah, it's just like the final stab. He's like, "Ugh," but the face expression, nothing else really matched it. It felt a little stiff. Might just be the style they're going for, but how much can a style excuse, if you get me? Yeah, how far can you stretch that as a not an excuse, but as a reason, you know, before it just still looks weird anyway. What can I do for you? You look dreadful. A bad night.
What can I do for you?
For me, nothing. It's Lot Yonan. He wants to see you in his study.
In your mind, you go through all the recent incidents that might have annoyed the Magus. Apart from a few little squabbles with his famuli, nothing worth mentioning happened since the incident with your beard. You nod.
Okay. You look dreadful.
What a charmer.
The maid gives you an ironic, reprimanding scowl.
Ikana has been crying half the night.
When you were teething, I carried you around the vaults. You played with my beard and I sang you to sleep.
Frala smiles. She's heard this story many times before.
That was 23 cycles ago. I'm quite sure you didn't sing. You might have grumbled a bit.
If what you've read about the dwarven lifespan is true, it'll be another 300 sun cycles and more before you are called to the Eternal Forge. The certainty of one day having to witness Frala's death already burdens your heart.
I'd better not keep the Magus waiting.
See you later. There's goulash for dinner.
Yeah, that would be rough. Okay, that's weird to see the others being removed from the party. It just... that does seem weird. So, I haven't really seen much of this side of it. I think in the video for the other thing, I was more focused on the combat than anything else. But there's money, there's food rations you got to worry about. I guess that's the turn/day. Yeah, but yeah, outliving people like that would hurt. Would be a hard thing, I guess. Depending on your mindset and the like. Everything's, down to mind.
This is where you swung the forge hammer for the first time 30 cycles ago. No one taught you the craft. It was enough for you to watch Lot Yonan's old smith at work. Whenever the workshop was empty, you practiced and quickly mastered the craft with ease.
Racial bonuses.
There was a time when you could hardly lift the heavy hammer. Now you barely notice it anymore, and it feels like an extension of your arm. Smithing is in your blood. Everything you know about dwarves you learned from books. The divine smith created the dwarves, and from time to time you make him an offering of some crumbs of gold. It's the most valuable thing you have to offer Vracus.
One sec. Hey folks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's at least talk to the sage before I call it.
You've worked a bit more on Sunya's birthday present last night. The little one is crazy about horses. You, on the other hand, prefer to keep your distance unless you're fitting them with hooves. Too many legs and way too big.
There are apparently dwarves who have never seen the sky. And you too feel more comfortable when you have rock over your head. If only you didn't long to see more of the world, a longing that grows stronger with every year.
Everything you know about...
I can't really interact with this, but I can with that.
Everything you know about...
Just making sure I'm not missing anything.
Hey, groundling! Come to the kitchen, we need you.
Jolison, a 4th degree famulus and your favorite foe among the students of magic, gives you a disparaging glance and disappears without waiting for your reply.
Of the 200 or so people selected to learn the art of magic under Lot Yonan, there's barely a handful of them you can stand the sight of. You're not at all interested in magic in all its elusiveness and whimsy. Your realm is the Forge. Lot Yonan's vaults are equipped with laboratories, a library, and private rooms for the famuli. Together with the forge, the kitchen, and the other utility rooms, it makes up quite an impressive complex. But compared to the courts of the other magi, the seat of power in Yonandar is small and modest.
Master Lot Yonan, Frala told me you wished to speak with me.
Ah, Tungdil, come in. There is a bag over there in the cupboard. Take it out, please. It contains artifacts belonging to my former famulus Goren. I wish to return them to him. He's in Black Saddle, 300 miles away.
300 miles? That's a long journey. Who are you going to entrust with this?
I was thinking of you.
Me?
There is no one better to take on this journey. You have acquired much knowledge. You are almost a scholar. You know more than most famuli about Girdlegard and its inhabitants. It is time for you to go out into the world and see it with your own eyes.
With pleasure.
Also, actually thinking about it, that large door that he wanted to get through, there was a side door that was open, that we knocked open, and doesn't seem nearly secure. Couldn't he just put a ladder up and climbed in? Maybe the thing is Girdlegard is separate from the defensive keep around it. Maybe there is ways in from the defensive keep, but they're just as secure. I think that's the case. You know, it's serious security.
What's in the bag?
Magical devices. You better leave the bag closed if you want to avoid any accidents. Dwarves don't really like magic, and magic doesn't like you either.
Rakus gave us so much craftsmanship that there's no space left in our bodies for magic.
Strictly speaking, every time you've been too close to magic, it has ended in catastrophe.
That's why they could bullshit out some magic by just having very advanced technology. Suddenly a dwarf shooting lightning, just because it has a Tesla cannon. Still screw with the peons.
Perhaps I'll meet some dwarves on my travels.
Yes, perhaps. But don't hold out too much hope. And be careful who you talk to. Not everyone out there likes dwarves.
Yeah, goblins. They abduct baby dwarves and sell them to magi, from what I've heard.
Not the best bit of business I've ever done. But what was I to do? The Longnoses threatened to throw you into the nearest river. Be on your guard. Look after the bag
weird.
and don't lose it. May Palanai be with you. And Varakas too, of course.
I'll set off immediately. I'll see you soon, Lot Yeoman.
Well, hopefully not too immediately. I need to go shove my axe up the other guy's ass. Gold, something that can be traded for goods and services. Just thinking of that Simpsons meme, you know, Homer was complaining about finding money instead of his donut. And it's like, money can be traded for goods and services. Simple protection. Tungdil has forged for Frala. Tungdil. Provisions automatically heals injuries during journeys if available. Magical artifacts. Some items that you're supposed to bring to Goran, a former famulus of him. If his health's below 30%, he gains bonus armor and damage. He's got a presumably weaker version of the other guy's hit. Relationships, health. Oof. Given how much health he has, I can only assume that health bars are rather inflated. That, or he's going to suffer a crippling wound soon that will reduce his health to be more in line. Like in a lot of games, when you're starting off, you've well, in some games you have 10 hit points, 100, and it builds up from there. Since we already started at 1,800, I can only presume that's not as much health as it sounds, if you get me.
Tungdil! Quick! Or the Golash will get burnt!
You immediately recognize what the problem is. A chain running over a pulley for positioning the cauldron is detached from its mounting, and the cauldron stuck in the fireplace. It's a heavy load, and none of the famuli, who feel superior even during kitchen duty, dare do anything. They might burn their fingers, or even get a bit dirty.
Really?
It'd be a waste of goulash. And I'm hungry. Here, hold this.
With as much concern in your voice as you can muster, you say,
Oh, no, no, this doesn't look good.
you're pleased to notice he's dripping with sweat.
I'll get you back for this, groundling!
Okay, she approves. Let's be more of a dick. I was gonna try and be nice and, or whatever, but yeah, let's be more of a dick. I know, I like being nice. I want people to like me. Though this guy's an asshole to begin with. It's just obsessive tendencies of mine seeping into everything. Real life and video games. Ugh.
Do you remember when you dyed my beard with some magic spell? I had to shave it off.
You stroke your beard, which is unusually short for a dwarf.
Damn it! Ah, it's heavy!
The young human forces through his pursed lips, letting the pot sink a little.
Don't you dare ruin my goulash, boy!
The cook, with beefy forearms, glares at the young man, and after a brief moment, he tries harder.
If she's beefy forearms, couldn't she do it? Get off your ass.
You damned freak!
For a moment, you hope the famulus really does raise his hand to you. But then he comes to his senses and leaves the kitchen, his face bright red.
What a pair you are!
He could have really ruined the goulash there. If he had.
Vegetables, bread, cheese, but the cook is not to be trifled with. Many painful knuckles have taught you that she knows how to handle her heavy wooden spoon, and that she may possibly have eyes in the back of her head.
I am your godfather, little one. I'll look after you just like I looked after your mother.
Little Akana grasps your calloused finger and smiles at you wide-eyed.
Actually, yeah, that would be very. He looked after her when she was young. Well, since she was a babe, and he's helping with hers. Her passing away, then her kid passing away, her kid's kid passing away. Probably before even, wow. Possibly before he even hits, middle age for a dwarf. That'll be rough. That really would be.
The goulash is bubbling in the cauldron. You draw the warm air in through your nose, and the smell makes your mouth start watering. The beer that is delivered to the vaults is supposed to be the best beer in Idderslane. It's certainly your favorite beer, but you haven't drunk enough other beers to truly know.
No number frame of reference for Idderslane, so.
Hello, Frala.
Hmm?
I need provisions for 300 miles.
You're grinning from ear to ear. Finally, you've got the chance to see something of the world.
300? Tungdil, that's no errand. That's an epic journey. Wait, I've got just the right thing. But make sure the cook doesn't see.
I'm going to Blacksaddle to return a few things to a former apprentice in Amagus.
You pocket the rye bread, sausages, and ham. Enough food for the first few days of your journey.
Perhaps I'll even meet some dwarves on the way.
Frala throws you a cautious glance. It's a tricky subject that you can't help but broach.
There aren't dwarves down here. You're the only one in Idderslane, as far as we know.
I know, but I can't just have been born out of a rock. Somewhere in the mountains, I have a clan. Maybe even a family.
Yes. Maybe.
Frala has reminded you more than once that Lot Yonan wrote to the dwarf clans and none of them were missing a dwarf boy.
Maybe the census missed one.
I've got a present for you.
You take out a symbol of protection that you've carefully made from 3 horseshoe nails.
It's not the finest jewelry in Girdlegard.
One look at Frala's face makes it clear that it doesn't matter. She glows with happiness as she takes the pendant.
For me? But why?
Because you don't see me as an oddity, and you're like a little sister to me.
You could have said. But you settle with a shrug and a crooked smile.
I have to go. I've got a long journey ahead of me.
I wish you the blessing of Palanai and I'm to protect you from all danger on your journey. Here, a talisman. Whenever you look at it, think of me.
Frala winks at you mischievously.
And of getting me a nice present.
Talisman Duan. Keepsake from Frala brings good fortune to the wearer. Well, let's bloody well hope so. Ooh, and she did give us a fair bit of food.
Hey, what are you doing, groundling? We're still eating here. Why don't you go and get your own portion?
I didn't even see them there. Maybe should adjust the camera. And, ooh.
Lot Yonan didn't just take you in. He also taught you how to read and write. But you don't feel like reading right now. Especially as you already know all the books by heart.
I wonder if dwarves ask Vrakas for help on long journeys.
The figure on the homemade altar doesn't answer.
Alright, I guess we're just gonna leave. May have missed something back there since I didn't try and pilfer from the other tables, but I assumed something bad would happen if I had.
How nice to see you again, Lot Yonan. It must have been an age since we last met face to face.
Nudin, welcome. Please, sit down.
No, thank you, my friend. These are urgent matters, and I don't have much time. You must come to Leos Nudin immediately. The perished land is stirring.
Are you sure? What makes you think that?
I found out about 60 orbits ago, during a visit to the borders. Our magical barriers have weakened and become porous. The Elfar have left their land, and a huge horde of orcs have marched into Girdlegard.
Were you able to strengthen the spell with your magic?
No. I can't repair the damage alone. We need the combined power of the 6. The other 4 are already on their way here, but we need your help too.
I will set off for Parista without delay.
Oh, And as you're coming, could you also take the opportunity to bring back the things that I lent to you?
Of course. I have them already packed in a bag.
Oh, thank you. We'll be expecting you.
Is the plot twist here gonna be that we took the wrong bag?
Utterly blinded by the sunlight, you squeeze your eyes tightly shut after only a few steps.
Cave
The
adaption's a
time
bitch.
spent underground has made you so sensitive to light that you're forced to seek shelter in the shade of a mighty oak.
Oop.
You reach a small lake by a birchwood. Your feet hurt and your eyes still sting in the unaccustomed sunlight. But a smile spreads across your face nonetheless. You've covered a decent distance on the first day of your big journey. You pitch your camp and lie down to sleep on the hard forest floor. When you awake in the morning, your legs are stiff and achy. Trying not to feel sorry for yourself, you throw your rucksack over your shoulder. You're a dwarf, and dwarves don't complain.
They don't? Huh.
Around midday, with the sun high in the sky and the first beads of sweat appearing on your forehead, you see something move next to the road, a few hundred meters ahead. Some crows are pecking at something in the long grass.
Now walk further along the road until you can make out more. Leave the road and sneak up to the crows.
The creaking leather armor, the clattering rucksack, and a dwarf's inability to be quiet makes the crows flap around as you move from one bush to another. You give up trying to be stealthy, stand up straight, and see two human bodies in the flattened grass. You look down on a tall, broadly built man. He's wearing dark brown leather armor that is strengthened with iron plates. There's a sword lying next to him. Was he trying to defend himself against something? Or someone? There is no blood on the sword.
By Vracus.
There are some narrow stab wounds in the man's chest. The cuts are too big to have been made by arrows, but too small for sword wounds. A slender man lies in front of you, dressed in an expensive robe. It is in the colors of Turgur the Fair-Faced, one of the 6 magi. The dead man must be one of Turgur's famuli. You don't see any wounds. The man has the same incisions. It's clear that both men were killed by the same weapon. But what that weapon might be, you cannot say. You don't see any signs of a struggle in the area where the corpses are lying. Were they stabbed by a companion? A stranger could hardly have crept up on them with such sparse cover.
Nothing.
I know there's a backpack there,
Nothing
but
again.
You halt. There is something.
A rucksack. Did someone hide it in the bushes, or was it thrown in there?
You open the rucksack and recognize that someone has already rummaged through it. As well as some implements and writing utensils, you find a pouch full of gold and a talisman. The gold is proof that this is not a case of robbery.
It could be, but for a very specialized thing. The gold was whatever they wanted was more important. Or wasn't there and they just didn't care for the gold.
A rucksack that probably...
Ooh. It seems to have been searched and thrown away carelessly.
You find a few implements, some provisions, and a map. A route is drawn on it from Parista, Nudin's capital, to Lot-Yonan's vaults. You cast another uncertain glance at the rucksack. Warmth and a feeling of security flush through your body as you touch the talisman. You feel safer just holding it in your hand.
I'm taking you with me.
Talisman of protection? Simple. When damage is received, there's a 50% chance of reducing damage by 50%. That's incredible! Game does look lovely like this.
You scour the area once more and ask yourself what to do next.
Stay and look for further clues. Seems like we have hit everything we can. Most of these freaking,
Scour
but
the area. It's time-consuming and strenuous work digging shallow graves in the ground with a stick and covering the corpses with a few stones. But it should at least keep the crows from their feasting for a while. You continue on your way so as to put a few more miles between you and your grisly find before night falls.
So we guess we found where the... Oh, that's Black Saddle. I feel like I should head back and tell them.
You can see the familiar entranceway to the underground vaults, but you don't enter.
What would I tell Lot Yeoman? I haven't been to Blacksaddle yet, and I've seen next to nothing. I should get out of here before Jolison or one of the other famuli sees me and accuses me of being homesick.
You turn on your heels.
Alright, continue on. Oh, I didn't see
As
that.
the gable end of a small farmhouse and a barn appear from behind a hilltop, you hear the loud cries of children at play. A girl runs along the path laughing, followed by a small boy with a big stick in his hand. The boy is trying to catch up his sister with a determined look on his face, but is finding it difficult to keep his short legs under control on the uneven path.